Hi, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm Dr. Jessica, the naturopathic doctor here at the Coach House, and today we are being joined with Emilio and Samantha from KW Professional Organizers. So you may have seen there's tons of books out right now talking about the Hygge factor. Did I?
No, it's good.
And talking a little bit about how Copenhagen happens to be one of the happiest places in the world, even though their weather is pretty dreary and dark. And so part of that, they say, is the Hygge factor. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, for us, it was something new that we learned about. My background is Swedish. My grandfather came from there. And we have this friend from Denmark, and she's a yoga instructor, and she just told us, Hygge is all about just creating this cozy feeling of basically just comfort and creating an environment where you just feel relaxed and calm.
And part of that then reflects mental health, right? So if you're in a cozy environment and you're enjoying your environment, anxiety and all of those things are going to have an effect on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's a very dark country and the winter is really long. It's about appreciating the small things. It's about being, as you say, in an environment that makes you feel well. So of course, if you have a lot of clutter, maybe you are not feeling great. So maybe setting the space the way that you like, the way that makes you feel great and inviting, that's something that can help with your mental health.
And so tell us a little bit about what you do and how you've kind of incorporate these things into your profession.
Well, what's interesting about what we do, so 5 years ago we started a business where we help people downsize and declutter their spaces. What does that mean? If you're like us in the middle of winter, you're kind of been in hibernation mode, you're looking around your space, maybe you're coming home from work and you're thinking, oh, I've got this to do and this pile is here and what am I going to do with these toys all over the place? And you start to feel like this endless inability to keep up.
A little stress, anxiety.
And so we have clients that call us and they're simply going through a lot of those experiences. And we think there's a direct connection between the physical environments that we live in and how that affects our mental health and how we feel every day. So we try and help people design their best space, whether that means they have a lot more things than you or I have very few things. Everybody has their own unique recipe for what they need in their space to feel well.
Yeah, and having that help is important. I know, what's that book that came out? The Life-Changing Magic
of Tidying Up. KonMari.
Yeah, so I did read it. And I found, so for myself, I was like, yeah, I like it, but I'm really good at throwing things out. Whereas other people I find will read this book and be like, no. And that's where you can really help.
We actually read a book and I did write an article because I was curious to compare what she does with what we have done in the past 5 years. And I can tell you that it's very, very similar. Mm-hmm. And it is a really challenging process for some people. But that's why it's so important to really understand the goal. Why are you doing it? What is the motivation that took you to get started with organizing? Because organizing is just the process.
Yeah.
What's after that?
And how does it make you feel?
Yeah, like what activities are you going to do? How are you going to feel? How do you want the space to look like? If you could do this, what do you see? That's really important to understand. And for us, that's one of the main things that we do. Because we don't go and set the space how we think it's going to be great. We try to question them a lot of questions that they will give us the answers, and then we can guide them through the process of creating their own space.
Yeah, and we hear a lot lately too about that self-care, right? Taking that time, and oftentimes we're hearing about how, we have a self-care day, but in reality, it's not a day, right? It's how you're taking care of yourself throughout.
Every day.
And part of that is, again, your space.
Yeah. So generally when people contact us, there's always a reason behind why there's clutter. For some people, they can bottle up emotions. For other people, they might collect things or maybe they shop because during those experiences, they're getting positive energy that they need. Unfortunately, the repercussions of that can end up causing more stress because what are you going to do if you can't use specific spaces? I don't know if you've ever been in a living room and the couch is full of things and no one can sit down. Well, that's all of a sudden going to make that person maybe not want to invite people in, which creates isolation, which creates stress at the end of the day that they still haven't done the things that they thought they were going to do. So we try and help people just kind of dial it back and say, what do you need to feel well? What activities do you want to do? How much energy do you want to put out every day into your home? And when we can do that, that's helping them understand, okay, well, you know what? My self-care for me means I want to go for a walk. I want to spend time with my kids. I don't want to think about work after work. So doing all of those things, how can we set up the space that will reflect that? Where's the place where we're going to hide your cell phone at 7 p.m. so that you don't have to look at that and be reminded of work? So
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, a lot of this too is we're in a very consumer-driven culture, right? And so I read a Times article where it said that people that actually spend money to buy themselves time end up being happier than the people that buy themselves stuff. And we were just talking about this before the video, and you had some really great tips too about buying yourself time and where you should spend that money.
We have 2 examples. One is with kids, that she can explain that we did it last year, and that one is, so we went to see this energy coach, and then we run our own business together, but this can apply to to yourself with your husband or wife at home. And then sometimes you just hate doing specific activities and you love doing other ones. So it's very nice if you can make a list. I make my own list, she made her own list. I wrote what I liked, what I didn't like, and what I was neutral about. She did the same thing, we compared lists, and it was so interesting that some of the activities, I love doing them and she didn't, so I can do them. The ones that she didn't like, she didn't do them. And then if there are activities that we both don't like, that's the ones that we can say, how can we find someone else to help us with this? And that way you are eliminating all the frustrations. And
it's still getting done, and you've got the time to then put energy into things that you really like to do.
And the thing about gifts too, because oftentimes, baby showers, birthdays, special anniversaries, all of these kinds of things, people are always thinking, they have everything, what do I get them? When we start really exploring our own communities and saying, what kind of experiences exist here that are unique, like potentially having a massage, or giving someone the experience of learning how to take pottery classes, or you can just go really out and beyond, and you can do things that don't even cost money, like doing a scavenger hunt with your kids in Victoria Park. These are just some of the things that they require time and energy for you to put into them, but at the end of the day, you're not left with things that maybe don't matter, or physical objects that you then have to spend time taking care of, putting away, cleaning, all of those kinds of things that come with physical belongings.
100%, yeah. So that's something we've actually talked about so many times on our Facebook page too, whenever Christmas comes or anything else. So I have 2 kids and we've done that exact thing. So at Christmas, they don't get presents, and at birthdays they don't get presents. Their gift is their birthday party with their friends, or we go on an activity to this aquarium or somewhere. And then at Christmas, my husband's family is from Europe, so when we go and visit, we do a little trip, and that's their experience gift. Yeah, because you accumulate whether you really
and I think
do it or not.
It's also important to involve family and friends, right? If they know what you are doing and why you are doing those things, then they feel welcome and invited to participate.
Yeah.
Because everybody thinks, okay, I can buy a gift because I'm supposed to, but if they know that you want really to go to Greece with your kids and that's the perfect gift, it's like, okay, I know that they will really enjoy us giving you money or us giving you something that you need for your trip, rather than buying gifts that maybe you won't need.
Yeah.
And I would like to bring it back to, it's totally okay to feel uncomfortable with letting go of things.
Yeah.
It's really, really normal, and there's a lot of psychology behind why we form attachments to things. There's a really good TED talk about the attachment of belongings. It's just like a TED education video. It's really worth watching. But it's really okay to have what you might define as clutter and have a hard time letting go. Ways that you can start to think about how am I going to be able to let these things go? Asking yourselves really deep questions like, why do I have this? Am I keeping this out of guilt? Do I have another use for it? Could someone else use it for me? And really just giving yourself a break and just taking it one step at a time, because at the end of the day, we are always evolving, and over the years we collect things and then we'll let go of things, and it's kind of this cycle. So don't be too hard on yourself. If you're like, I can't let this go and I have a closet full of this stuff, that's okay. You can eventually, if you're already thinking about it, that's a really great sign.
Yeah, it takes time to get there. Is there anything else you want to let us know before we kind of wrap up? This was really great information.
Well, we can share the three main challenges that our clients have, because after doing this for 5 years, we went back to all the emails, feedback forms that we received, and we did like a word cloud where it points out the main words that comes over and over and over. And the 3 things that we received was, I don't have the time, I feel overwhelmed, and I don't know how to get started. So that's what the majority of the people are experiencing. Some people, they try really hard, their best, but they just don't know how to organize because they have never been taught.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You don't need to have all the answers. You only need to have that attitude of what I'm doing right now is not working. I feel frustrated. I need to change this.
Yeah.
That's really great because then we can come in or someone else can come in with fresh ideas and help you move forward, try something different.
And to bring it back to the Hygge, if you're watching the video, then I suggest, thinking of something, what makes you feel really well? Is there a picture? Is it setting the mood with some candles? Is it having a comfy blanket, or just making space and time for yourself to say, okay, this 2 hours on Friday night, I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to sit with myself and think about what makes me happy, and maybe make a list. What makes you happy? And just that could be a really great step in using the Hygge. Go to your local library and get those books out too. They're really interesting.
It was on sale at Chapters for like $10 for a long time.
There
so,
you go.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being
Thanks
here.
for having us.
We're going to have some information up on the blog, correct? And some more information, links to their websites, because I know you said you do have some videos up there and some different things. So thanks for watching. We'll be back in 2 weeks. And thank you to Emilio and Samantha for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.